I was at our family's annual summer barbecue, standing by the grill, when my girlfriend shared a TikTok video that referred to me as her temporary husband. Her friend flooded the comments, saying I had trial run energy and wasn't the real deal. I didn't confront her. I didn't even finish my meal. I quietly placed the ring box I'd been carrying in my pocket for a planned proposal later that evening on a table and drove away. 3 weeks later, her sister messaged me, saying my ex was heartbroken, crying whenever my name came up, and desperate for me to return. I'm Ryan, 32, and I'd been with Alexis, 29, for 3 years. I thought we were a perfect match. We rarely argued, shared similar passions, and seemed aligned on life's big choices. We'd had serious conversations about marriage and starting a family, and I believed we were headed in the same direction. Her family felt like my own, especially her sister Maddie, 27, with whom I shared a great bond. We had the same sarcastic humour, and she often called me the brother she never had. Alexis and I had been living together for nearly 2 years in a house I'd purchased just before we met. I'd worked tirelessly to afford that home, putting in extra hours and skipping trips to save for it. It was a modest 3-bedroom ranch in a peaceful suburb, not luxurious, but it was mine. I poured my heart into making it a place where we could build a future together. As a civil engineer, I'm practical and methodical, always planning ahead. Alexis, on the other hand, worked in social media marketing, managing accounts for local companies. She was creative, impulsive, and cared more about appearances than I did. She had a solid following on Instagram and TikTok, posting about her lifestyle and our relationship, but I stayed out of it. That was her domain, and I was fine keeping a low profile. Our relationship wasn't flawless, no one's is, but I genuinely believed we were strong. For months, I'd been preparing to propose. I saved up for a ring that cost me 3 months' salary and chose our family barbecue at my parents' house as the perfect moment. Both our families would be there, the setting was beautiful, and it felt right to propose surrounded by love and memories. It was a stunning June day. My parents' backyard was adorned with fairy lights, the weather was ideal, and around 30 of our closest friends and family were gathered. I was at the grill, as always, cooking burgers and steaks. Every few minutes I'd touch the ring box in my pocket, making sure it was still there, mentally rehearsing my proposal speech for later that evening. Alexis was mingling, laughing and chatting with everyone. She seemed joyful, which warmed my heart. She was on her phone a lot, but that was normal. She was always posting or checking her socials. I didn't think twice about it. My cousin Jake approached the grill to grab a beer and chat. "Hey, have you seen Alexis's latest TikTok?" he asked, looking uneasy. "No, what's up?" I replied. He hesitated. "You might want to take a look." I brushed it off at first, focused on the food, but his tone unsettled me. About 15 minutes later, I handed the grill to my dad and checked my phone. I rarely use TikTok, but had the app to occasionally view Alexis's posts. I opened her profile and saw her newest video, posted 45 minutes earlier, already racking up hundreds of comments. It showed her with her friends, doing a trendy dance I didn't recognize. The caption hit me like a freight train. "Chilling with my girls while my placeholder husband handles the grill. Irage relationship vibes. L'image first tree dar starter spouse." I froze, scrolling through the comments. "He's got major trial run energy LOL. First husband material, not the forever kind. Girl, you'll level up for the next one. At least you're keeping it real." Her friends from the video piled on, egging it on. "He's the warm-up act. Training wheels before the real deal. Imagine thinking you're her endgame when you're just the practice round." My stomach churned. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold my phone. I looked across the yard and spotted Alexis, sitting with her 2 best friends from the video, all laughing at her phone. She hadn't even noticed I'd seen it. In that moment, everything I thought I knew about us shattered. 3 years of memories flashed before me, now clouded with doubt. Was I just a stepping stone? A dry run before she found someone better? I scanned the yard, seeing our families mingling. My mum was showing Alexis's mum vacation photos. My dad and her dad were debating sports. Everyone thought we were the perfect couple, headed for marriage. Everyone except Alexis, it seemed. I touched the ring box in my pocket. I'd spent months choosing the perfect diamond, had it set in a style she'd once admired in a magazine. I'd planned to propose at sunset, surrounded by our loved ones, with a speech about our shared future. What a fool I'd been. I set down my tongs, wiped my hands, and placed the ring box on a table by the grill. Without a word, I walked to my car and drove off. My phone started buzzing 10 minutes later, but I silenced it. I needed space to think. That night, I checked into a hotel. I couldn't face going back to my house, knowing she might be there. The next morning, I turned on my phone to find 27 missed calls and countless texts, mostly from Alexis. "Where are you? Why'd you leave without a word? Please call me, I'm worried. Are you really this mad over a dumb TikTok? It was a joke, you're overreacting. Everyone's asking where you went, you're embarrassing me. That last one stung. I was embarrassing her. There were also messages from my parents and a few friends checking on me, and one from Maddie. I saw the video. I'm so sorry, Ryan. That was awful, and you didn't deserve it. Let me know if you need anything. I replied only to my parents and Maddie, saying I was safe but needed time. To Alexis, I sent one message. I'll come by tomorrow at 2 to grab some things. Please don't be there. She responded instantly. Are you serious? You're moving out over a joke. You're blowing this out of proportion. We need to talk in person. You can't throw away 3 years over something this stupid. I didn't reply. What could I say? In one moment, she'd shown me how she truly saw me, us. Or maybe she'd meant for me to see it all along. The next day, I went to the house when I knew she'd be at work. I packed clothes, my laptop, and important documents. As I was leaving, I saw a framed photo of us from a trip to Maine the previous year. We looked so happy, so in love. I set it face down and walked out. I extended my hotel stay and started looking for a short-term rental. I needed distance to figure out my next steps. My boss gave me a week off, and I spent it driving, hiking, and trying to clear my mind. Alexis kept texting, her messages swinging between anger and desperation. You're being immature. Please come home so we can talk. I miss you. Why are you punishing me for a joke? A few days later, Maddie texted again. I know you don't want to hear about Alexis, but she's telling everyone you're just throwing a fit and will come back soon. She's not taking this seriously. That pushed me over the edge. I contacted a real estate attorney to explore my options. Since the house was in my name and we weren't married, I could legally ask her to leave. The attorney drafted a notice giving her 30 days to vacate. I decided to deliver it in person. I wanted her to see this wasn't a tantrum. It was me reclaiming my life. When I arrived, Alexis's car was in the driveway along with another I didn't recognize. I knocked on my own door, feeling like an outsider. Alexis opened it, her face shifting from surprise to relief. Ryan, thank God, I was so worried. She tried to hug me, but I stepped back and handed her the envelope. What's this? She asked, her smile fading. Notice to vacate within 30 days. Her expression collapsed. You're serious? Over a TikTok? You're throwing away everything we had over a joke. I laughed bitterly. A joke? Calling me your placeholder husband was a joke? Humiliating me in front of everyone we know was funny? Were you ever going to tell me you saw me as temporary, or was I supposed to find out after we split? Before she could answer, her friend from the video appeared behind her, looking awkward. Should I leave? She asked. No, stay, I said. I'm just dropping this off. I'll send movers for my things next week. Anything we own together, we can sort through my attorney. Alexis's face hardened. A lawyer? Are you kidding me? I've never been more serious, I said, turning to leave. She grabbed my arm. It was a mistake. I wasn't thinking. Please, let's talk. I pulled away. There's nothing to talk about. You showed me who you are. I believe you. What about the ring? She blurted. My mum said you left a ring box by the grill. Were you going to propose? Her voice broke. Yes, I said quietly. I was. Funny how things turn out. I walked away as she called after me, her voice cracking. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done, but I didn't look back. I found a month-to-month apartment near my office and moved in the next day. I hired movers to collect most of my belongings, leaving enough furniture for Alexis to use until she found a new place. Word spread quickly. My phone was flooded with messages from mutual friends, most siding with her. Aren't you overreacting? It was just a dumb social media post. She's crushed, man. It was a bad joke. A few understood. I saw that video before she deleted it. You deserve better. If she'd say that publicly, what does she say privately? My parents supported me fully. My mum helped set up my new place, bringing food and hiding her tears. My dad just said, "You did right, son. Don't doubt yourself." Alexis's family was split. Her parents expressed shock and disappointment, though it wasn't clear who they blamed. Her brother sent a terse message saying I should have handled it like an adult instead of running off. Maddie, though, remained my ally, texting updates. Alexis moved to a friend's place. Mum and Dad lectured her about respect. She took down her socials after the backlash. Apparently, someone at the barbecue, likely Jake, had commented on her TikTok. You know he was going to propose tonight, right? The comment blew up, and Alexis faced a wave of online criticism. She deleted the video hours later, but screenshots had already spread. I didn't revel in her humiliation. I'd loved her deeply, and part of me still cared about her. But I couldn't be her temporary husband. 2 weeks later, I was finding my rhythm again, diving into work, picking up old hobbies, joining a climbing gym. I wasn't ready to date, but I was rebuilding myself. Then Maddie texted. Alexis cries whenever your name comes up. She's begging for you back. She's not eating or sleeping. She says she didn't mean it and would do anything to fix this. For the first time, my resolve wavered. I still loved her, and the thought of her in pain hurt. But I remembered her friend's comments, the public betrayal. Going back would mean sacrificing my self-respect. I replied to Maddie, "I'm sorry she's hurting. I am too. But I can't be with someone who sees me as a placeholder." Maddie responded, "I get it. For what it's worth, she's genuinely sorry." She said her friends pushed her to post relatable content about relationship doubts for engagement. It's no excuse, though. That only made me angrier. She'd traded our relationship for likes. The next day, a package arrived at my apartment, the ring box from the barbecue, and a long, tear-stained letter from Alexis. She explained that her friends had pressured her to post authentic content about relationship struggles, that she'd felt insecure as her friends got engaged, that she'd said those things to seem aloof, but genius, but didn't mean them. She swore I was the love of her life, not a placeholder, and that she'd ruined everything for meaningless online attention. It was a heartfelt letter, but it focused too much on her pain, barely acknowledging mine. I tucked it away and tried to move on. 3 days later, Alexis showed up at my apartment, looking exhausted, holding a gift bag. "Please, just 5 minutes," she begged. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She handed me the bag, a framed collage of our photos and screenshots of her deleted social media accounts. "I'm done with social media," she said. "The posting, the performance, all of it. It cost me everything." She apologized, calling me the love of her life, saying she'd never seen me as temporary. "I'm not asking you to take me back," she said. "I just need you to know I'll regret this forever." She mentioned signing over any claim to the house, confirming it was mine alone. Then she left. I couldn't sleep that night, questioning everything. Had I missed signs? Was it a mistake or her true feelings? I called my sister Kate for advice. "Do you still love her?" she asked. "Yes," I admitted, "but I don't know if I can trust her." "Trust can be rebuilt," she said, "but only if you both want it. Do you?" I didn't know. The next day, Maddie texted, "Alexis got a job offer in Seattle. She's moving next month. She says it's too hard to stay here." The news hit hard. This wasn't a temporary split. It was over. I wasn't sure I was ready for that. Days later, I ran into Alexis's boss, Monica, at our favorite restaurant. "I thought you'd be celebrating with Alexis," she said. "Her promotion?" "What promotion?" I asked. "The senior position she's been after for months. More money, more control. She didn't tell you?" My heart sank. The offer was made a month ago, before the TikTok, before everything. It clicked. The Seattle story was a lie to manipulate me, knowing Maddie would tell me. I checked Instagram using a friend's account. Her deleted profiles were just private. The screenshots were fake. My doubts vanished. I met Maddie for coffee and confronted her. "Did you know?" She looked guilty. "I'm so sorry, she's my sister. She begged me to help. I didn't know about the fake screenshots or Seattle until later." "Why tell me now?" I asked. "Because you deserve better," she said, "and I was wrong to help her manipulate you." I called Alexis. "I know about the promotion, the fake screenshots, the Seattle lie. Don't contact me again." I blocked her number. That day, I hired a contractor to renovate my house. New paint, floors, a new kitchen. I erased her presence. I sold the ring, using the money for a solo trip to Europe, hiking in the Alps and eating my way through Italy. It was a fresh start. When I returned, a final letter from Alexis awaited, full of anger and blame. I was cold, unforgiving, and had humiliated her by leaving the barbecue. She was better off without my fragile ego. I laughed, seeing her true self at last, and shredded the letter. A year later, my house is renovated, my career is thriving, and I'm casually dating. Alexis moved to Chicago, dating a social media influencer. Maddie says she seems happy, and I wish her well. I've learned to see people for who they are, not who I want them to be. I ignored red flags because I was in love, but the pain of our breakup saved me from a worse future. Last week, I found the college Alexis gave me. I looked at our smiling faces and felt only gratitude, not for the relationship, but for its end. I tossed it out and grilled in my new backyard, beer in hand, at peace and ready for what's next. Edit. Thanks for the support. Answers to common questions. Yes, I kept the house. It was always mine and she left without a fight. No contact with Alexis since that call. It's been the healthiest choice. The ring was a 1.5 carat oval diamond in a vintage setting. I got 80% of its value back, funding my Europe trip. Maddie and I occasionally meet for coffee, but have drifted apart naturally. No, I'm not interested in dating anyone from this thread, but thanks for the offers.